So, by a show of hands, how many of you know what cross-country skiing is? Now, by a show of hands, how many of you actually know what cross-country skiing is? So, everybody knows what cross-country skiing is, but they've only been exposed to a really small and stereotypical amount of the sport. So, in your minds right now, you know cross-country skiing as that thing you do with your family at Christmas time where you put on some weird shoes and you shuffle around a grass field for half an hour. Well, that's nothing compared to the real sport. Now you may be thinking, I've seen the Olympics. I know that cross-country skiing is a hard sport. But again, the Olympics is only the racing of cross-country skiing. It doesn't show any of the practice or dedication that these people put into getting to the Olympics. I myself am an avid cross-country skier, and I'm currently the second fastest 7th grade cross-country skier in Wisconsin. Now, assuming that not everyone here understands the basics of cross-country skiing, I'll start out by just giving you a little bit of background knowledge. So, there's two ways you can cross-country ski, skate and classic. So here is a video of what classic skiing is like. So, as you can see here, I'm skiing in 2 tracks set into the snow, and I'm kicking off with each foot and mainly using my poles for this type of skiing. And one of the big things about this video, this is a video from my state meet race, but it looked like I was going kind of slow. But the real thing was, I actually started that race on an uphill. And in fact, going uphill is such a big part of cross-country skiing that we dedicate a practice one night a week in the fall just to solely going up hills. Now back to the point. Skate skiing is the second type of cross-country skiing. In this type of skiing, you put your feet out in a V pattern and push off with alternating feet. Oops. So, in this video here, this is a mass start version of a race, by the way, but you can see me right here, but instead of being in set tracks, we're on a wide field of groomed snow, and we're using our poles and skis simultaneously to push off in an angled V pattern. Now, if anybody else has any more questions about cross-country skiing, feel free to ask me during a break. Now, about the people who cross-country ski. I personally think that one of the biggest things someone can get out of cross-country skiing is patience. Cross-country skiing is a sport that takes a lot of patience, persistence, and perseverance. We have a saying on our ski team, and that is, you don't win the race in the first 500 meters. Now, this doesn't mean that all ski races are long, but what it means is pace yourself, but still be going as fast as you can. Even if it's getting painful, you have to keep going, or else you'll lose your determination and slow down without even realizing it. There are 2 places, though, that you need patience the most: training and long races. Cross-country skiing is known for its intensely long races. In fact, one of the biggest ski races in North America takes place right here in Wisconsin. You may have heard of it before, but it's called the Berkey. It's a 58-kilometer ski race, and for those of you who aren't up to date on your metric system, thank President Gerald Ford for that, it's 36 miles. Now, I just turned 13 last year, which made me eligible to do the half version of this race, which is called the Quartalope. This race is 29 kilometers, and I've spent a long time training for this race. This means that when you're doing long races like this, you have to be patient, realize that you're going to be out there for a while, so don't push yourself at the beginning. Throughout the race, you just have to try and keep moving at the same pace, or else mentally you'll get bored and your body will just naturally speed up, and you'll run out of energy before you can even finish the race. But to do a long race like this, you need lots of patience, which is why a beginner skier never does any long races like these. Now, to get to a long race like this, you have to train for it the right way. We call this kind of training OD skis, which stands for over distance. For me, I went out for a 2-hour roller ski every Sunday this fall after school started, and I skied around 13 to 16 miles every time. So far, I'm the youngest kid on my ski team that does long skis like this, and it's given me a real edge on distance races. However, almost every good skier goes on scheduled long skis like this. And it takes a lot of perseverance and persistence to stay on a rigid schedule and keep training, even if you don't want to. This being, usually cross-country skiers are very patient with people, and they're very good at getting things done on time. Doing long skis like this has really shown cross-country skiers that there are things in life you have to be patient about, and you can never rush anything if you want a solid, quality outcome. It also has helped them realize that not everything has to be done one step at a time. It's okay to keep doing something even if you're done with the step, but you're not familiar with it. Cross-country skiing also requires dedication. Sometimes going out to practice is difficult to do. Maybe it's negative 10 degrees and wind chill, or maybe it's raining outside. Maybe it's 95 and sunny with 85% humidity. These are the days when you just want to stay inside and not do anything. But, if you want to be a good skier, that no matter what the circumstances, unless it's like lightning out, you should always go out and practice, because you can never control the weather on race day. Either way, it's the days like those that somehow turn into the more fun practices, and it makes it that much better when it's nice outside. Now, you're probably wondering, how do you practice skiing in the summer? Well, running's actually a smaller part of our training, and the way we practice skiing in the summer is called roller skiing. So, roller skis are pretty much a 2-foot-long steel bar with 2 wheels at each end, and they simulate skis on snow, but instead of on snow, you're on roads. But learning how to roller ski is a lot harder than learning how to snow ski, which makes roller skiing one of those really big hurdles to get over. This all goes back to wanting to get better, but sometimes it's hard for people to reach goals if they're not motivated enough. If you want to reach a goal, you have to keep working for it and never give up, because if you stop working for it and take a break, you'll start to lose all the progress you've made. The amount of dedication you put in really pays off over time, and this is part of the reason of why I do so well in the sport and why I'm able to reach higher goals. Now, as you may realize, it may take more or less dedication to achieve certain goals, but skiing is a sport that doesn't give you very many breaks. If you want to be a top skier, you have to work for it, and if you're not trying very hard, you'll never get there. Some of this behavior carries over into their everyday lives, and some people may notice that. Let's take one of my friends from the ski team, for instance. He's not just a get-the-job-done kind of person. If he's going to do something, he's going to go full-blown all out and do it the best with as much effort as he can. I bet if you even ask some of my friends, they'd say the same thing about me. Skiing also involves a lot of balance, both the physical and the literal type. When training, you have to balance the time you spend working out and the time you spend recovering, the amount of strength training you do and the amount of distance training you do, the amount of skate skiing you do and the amount of classic skiing you do. I could sit here and name all the things you have to balance, but there's a lot of things in skiing that you really need to balance. And the point is that cross-country skiing is not just a single subject sport. There are many components that go into it, and most skiers get very good when it comes to making decisions about what tasks they want to do and if they'll be able to balance out their time and complete things. This helps skiers make good decisions in life and make sure that they never have more than enough stuff that they can't handle. Now, as much as skiing may seem like an independent sport, there's a lot of teamwork involved. Most skiers you come across are very kind and are willing to do almost anything for you out on the trails. If your kick wax is wearing off, most of the time someone from your team will be nice enough to lend you some wax. Or let's say that someone forgot to bring a water bottle. Even though it's highly frowned upon in the summer, almost never will someone say you can't have a drink out of their water bottle. Even during races, this happens. Although you only race by yourself and against the people from other teams, you're always there even when you're not racing to cheer on your team and support them. And as strange as it sounds, usually most skiers are friends with the people they compete against the most. In skiing, being friendly is one of the most valuable things someone can have. At this point, you're probably thinking that cross-country skiers are just really nice people that work a lot harder than anyone would want to. But in my opinion, the most valuable thing you can learn from cross-country skiing is responsibility. In skiing, you have to take care of a lot of equipment. If I made a checklist of all my equipment, it would look something like this: classic ski boots, skate ski boots, skis, poles, hat, gloves, goggles, and all that other stuff. But I have to remember all that stuff 5 days a week for a practice, and it's even more stuff on race weekends. Now, responsibility is a lot more than just remembering ski equipment. It's making sure that you're at the ski race on time and that you don't miss your start time. Responsibility is getting everything done on time and honestly doing your workouts. Responsibility is listening to everything your coach tells you and not talking during an educational moment, although there are some kids that don't. Overall, responsibility is the most valuable thing any cross-country skier has, and it's very hard to come by in today's generation. Skiing is not just about working really hard every day of the week. It's not about all the fancy equipment that we have to remember or going to all the races every weekend. Skiing is really about the people who ski and the enjoyment you find in skiing. Working together as a team and being friends with each other is really what it's about. Now, I don't want everyone to come out of this thinking that joining the ski team will make you a better person. What I want you to take away is that with patience, persistence, and perseverance, you will have much better opportunity to achieve your goals. People who are responsible and kind to each other will be better off in life. That's if you're working for a goal, you'll only get out the amount of effort you put in. Responsible people and people who are motivated to complete something with an honest amount of effort are hard to come by today. Joining a sport or even just joining a club, if you're not into sports, is a great way to start finding what type of dedication you may have. I use my passion for skiing to relate to other aspects of my life, as you can do the same. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.